What's up, everyone? Comic book nerd girl here. Want to share with you a quick recap on spoilers, Easter eggs, and basically just episode one in the nitty gritty. So, a lot of people had mentioned a couple things, right? One, they were concerned there was not enough Wanda. Obviously, you can see from the picture here, there is Wanda on that little slip where you typically see that from like a library book where you check books out. I'm thinking right off the bat, maybe that's the Dark Hole because that was a book of question in WandaVision. WandaVision was certainly the series before this, and the whole series was meant to be kind of a three-part series, right? So you have WandaVision, you have Agatha all along, and then Vision Quest, which is coming up, I believe, in 2025 or so. And then, of course, rounding up to hopefully a Scarlet Witch movie, which we're all kind of anticipating. With that being said, let's kind of roll it right into it. So Agatha's driving and she gets to this crime scene and she rolls up and says hi to her neighbor, which is funny because, the guy's like, hey, hi, neighbor. And you thought that was kind of interesting because she's at work, but, you just roll with it. It's a small town. She looks at this body and we're thinking, who could this body be? Similar size to the Scarlet Witch, but no one knows for sure. You don't see their hair, you don't see anything except for her bare feet and her fingers. And the fingers happen to be dark. They're black, and anytime in the MCU the fingers are dark and black, someone's had a hold of the dark hold, which is the book at the very end of the WandaVision, where you can see her flipping through that in the cabin. Anytime anyone's had a hold of that, that's kind of how you kind of know if they've had a hold of the dark hold. Quickly, she asks, who this person is, what happened to her. And I think also in a subconscious level, Agatha's asking that of herself. She's going through these moments where it's definitely a scene and a sequence, but she's having these moments of clarity, kind of like when you're dreaming and you're thinking to yourself, like, hey, I'm wondering if what's going on here. Right after that, you can definitely see that this was, totally, not what it appears to be, right? Agnes of Westview is a total play on HBO's hit series Mayor of Easttown. A lot of us thought it was True Detective, but it was actually Mayor of Easttown. They added a little cute little tidbit there on the bottom that says it's based off of like another country's interpretation of the show, and they're putting their spin on it. So you can certainly tell that things are not what it appears to be. She goes through the day and then she comes home to this empty home. She walks upstairs to go into this little boy's room, and quickly you can see the name there that says Nick Scratch. Nick Scratch, in the comic books, is actually Agatha's son, whom she sacrificed to get a hold of the Darkhold. Not sure when that happened, how many years ago. We know that Agatha has been alive for a couple hundred centuries, being able to take power away from other people, and that's how she got so powerful. Obviously, in the end, she had the Darkhold, and that's kind of how she got to there today, right? Obviously, she is no longer. Holding on to the Darkhold, she doesn't have her powers anymore because that was stripped of her by the Scarlet Witch and the hex that she had put on her before the end of WandaVision. Here you can kind of see that she's going through a sequence after Rio Vidal, who is also the Green Witch. She kind of helps her understand that things are not what it seems, and she's seeing the name on this book and she's checking it out that hey, Agatha Harkness was the person that had the book before Wanda Maximoff. That only leads me to believe that is the Darkhold. And we talked about the fingertips and everything, they both had that. And then on the bottom there where she's in like this, black and white 50s garb, she's peeling through all the different costumes that she had in WandaVision because she's taking off all these different personas that she's had, and she's slowly waking up from this dream or this hex that Wanda has put on her. And when she does that in her dream, she's taking off all these clothes. She's butt naked in her house. She comes out to her neighbor, who happens to be that detective that she said hello to, and he tells her that she's been in this hex for the last 3 years, and people are just being nice and playing along with her, just kind of support her, making sure that she just doesn't die. And it's really kind of comical at the end of when you think about it. At the very last scene, right, Rio Vidal comes in, breaks down her door, tries to attack her, and she basically tells her that they're coming after her, but she can't kill her. I think there's a couple of reasons why she can't kill her. It could be a hex, it could be the witch's code, it could be that Agatha hasn't gone to trial. And I think most witches kind of live by that code except for Agatha because she was so darn ambitious. But at the end of it, she tells Agatha that the Salem Seven is going to come after her. And here's where it's really important. Do you remember Nick Scratch? He is the father of the Salem Seven. They are all looking to seek revenge. The most interesting thing about Agatha and the Salem Seven is the Salem Seven are actually descendants of Agatha. Remember, she's been alive for a couple hundred years now, and so she has a lot of enemies, as you can see. And a tidbit in the comics is Rio Vidal, the Green Witch. She's going to be really important in the Witch's Road in the next episode, but also I believe they used to be lovers as well. I read a few comics, and that's mentioned that in the book, and you can see that there's some sort of tension between these two. It's a love hate type of relationship. Obviously, there's a lot of passion, so looking forward to seeing more of that unfold. I hope you enjoyed my synopsis of episode one. If you like it, please like and subscribe and kind of share with others. Appreciate your support, and we'll talk soon.